showtime. Welcome to the Marissa Pitch Show, streaming live on YouTube every Friday at 11 a.m. PST. Please don't forget to love, like, and subscribe right now. Thank you for tuning in. And today's guest on Mouthful is writer, director, and producer of Babyfoot, Tim Venable. Babyfoot is fresh off of Broadway and is having its West Coast premiere tomorrow night, October 14th, at the Rogue Machine Theater in Los Angeles. But before I jump into Pitts Bits with the weekly pop culture news, I do want to talk about the Israeli and Hamas conflict just briefly on here, where I just want to make sure that I can't go into the weekly news with Pitts Bits without at least touching on the conflict that is happening right now. Definitely condemning any terrorist act with Hamas. And as a mother, just seeing the loss of life between innocents, the children, all around, and the suffering and dying, it's very, very painful. And my prayers and my heart is going out to the situation. And I keep praying for a very quick and speedy end to this war, and that we can come into a dialogue and stop it. Just want to make sure I mention that, because as we go into it, this is a pop culture show. It's not a political show on that, but I am watching the news very, very, very strongly and carefully throughout today and the week. But as we were saying, this is a pop culture show, so I have to go ahead and switch gears, and we're going to jump into Pitts Bits. So please stay tuned for your pop culture news. Welcome to Pitts Bits with Marissa Pitts. All right, let's have some fun today. So hi, this is Marissa with Pitts Bits, your weekly update with what's trending in pop culture. So Cardi B just turned 31, and her husband Offset has gone off on her birthday gifts. OMG. He has spent over $500,000 just on 3 bags. That is not the roses, the balloons, the flowers, the all nine, the dinner, the other gifts you got, but just 3 bags. She's holding up one right now that is a limited edition bag on here. The great part about it is Cardi B used this awesome set that Offset put together for her with the roses to announce possibly a new single in the works. So I'm looking at, I all love me some Cardi B. I love her music, her vibe. So looking forward to see what she's going to go ahead and bring on out. And talking about Black excellence, cannot have anybody but Simone Biles is officially the most decorated gymnast of all time. Hands down to this queen right here, because she is the queen of the beam. She is holding down the GOAT in gymnastics. She has 37 medals across the World Championships and the Olympics combined. One thing that I always love about watching her go forward and what she does is the physical body, what she's able to do with it, the twists, the bends, the turns. Every time you see her, she's going to bring out something that someone has never done before. So it's really, really, really exciting to see this transition and how it goes forward. So excited about this. All right. And going on here, if you haven't known, Loki came out last Friday. Hope you all watched it, binged it. It was fabulous. And I hope you also get used to not seeing too many new shows, because even though the WGA did sign off their strike and they are now have a deal that they're tentatively working out to see that it works out for them, SAG-AFTRA has not. This was just put up here on the SAG-AFTRA Instagram to our fellow SAG-AFTRA members. Is with profound disappointment that we report the industry CEOs have walked away from the bargaining table after refusing to counter our latest offer. We have negotiated with them in good faith, and despite the fact that last week they presented an offer that was shockingly worth less than they proposed before the strike. And for those of you that don't know really what's kind of going on with here, it's the big studios are trying to not only not give money to actors in residual for all their streaming. Most people get 2 cents if they're stream, so not a lot of money whatsoever. But also they'd like to capture an actor's image and voice and keep it forever, using it in whatever show they want with no consent or feedback from the actor. So you will have, you could be put into anything if it's against your moral beliefs, not see any money for it, no compensation whatsoever. And as you all know, I'm really big into AI technology, but not when it comes into conflict with someone who's an artist and trying to make it work, right? Trying to pay their bills and also having a say on what their face, what their voice, their body, what is part of that campaign, that content. And I'm 1,000% behind SAG-AFTRA, stay on the picket line, and continue to fight for rights going forward with all actors, all content creators, so that we can make a living wage, right? And not just make a movie for them to make their living wage. And AI technology is rampant and on the loose. Where is my cool little thing on here? Oh, I don't have it. That's too bad. I had a cool little, oh, here it is. Ta-da! So we have Pim Eyes. If nobody heard about Pim Eyes, it's trending right now. Pim Eyes is you can upload a picture of somebody, some random stranger, doesn't matter who it is, and Pim Eyes will go through all of the different sites on websites or surveillance cameras, anything that they have access to find this person. Not only can they find the person, but they can also tell you where the person is. So you can track down where they live, their day-to-day movements, where they're going, all of that. And that's pretty scary. So now Pim Eyes has said, released a statement that is an online face search engine that goes through the internet, can't even talk today, to find pictures containing given faces. And that Pim Eyes uses face recognition search technologies to perform a reverse image search. And so even though it claims to be a service to help you monitor your online presence, really the main people using it are psycho stalkers. Yes, anytime someone's trying to stalk you, find out where you are, and anything that you want hidden, they can find it, and it has been used for that. People's lives are in danger because of technology like this. There is no control. There's no oversight. There are no rules. We are in uncharted territory with AI. All the big tech companies have said it over and over again. We have no idea what's going to happen to our societies as AI continues to implement themselves in our lives on a daily basis. So keep an eye out. Hopefully, if you go on it, you can find yourself and eliminate some of your online trafficking that you have yourself for. So go ahead and just look at it, jump on the Pim Eyes, see if you can remove some of your content, hide it, and see what's going on. And in other news, we have China, I did not know this, is taking back all the US pandas. So it's an image of a panda being taken back into China, is going into his little cage to fly back. What I did not know is that all of the US pandas in our zoos are on loan from China. So none have been bred here in America. They are on loan. I already have a contention against zoos as it is on a lot of how they are in cages, locked up. I do know there are conservatories for wide roaming and ranges on here to protect animals, which I'm 100% for. Zoos themselves have that hate relationship with them. Went there as a kid. I grew up going to the LA Zoo, and I remember just seeing little tiny cages and the animals stuffed in there. Now LA Zoo, I've been back there a few years ago walking through for the night lights. And I noticed that a lot of the cages are now empty, especially the smaller ones. And a lot of zoos are transitioning over into more of a conservatory and free roaming as much as possible in a limited space. If you did have your heart set on seeing a panda in person, the only place that you can see pandas now are at the Atlantic Zoo. There are 4 pandas left. Their lease expires coming up over the next couple of years. So if you do want to see them, you do have to go ASAP. Right now, with the relation between China and America, who knows when these leases will be reactivated and brought back in. All right. And last but not least, it popped off yesterday with Logan Paul and Dylan Dennis. They have a fight coming up. Seeing here, are they on Saturday tomorrow, October 14th? Big buzz news about it. But when they were at their press conference, an actual fight broke out between them. Logan threw a water bottle. Dylan tossed his mic, hit him over the head. Logan's popping off, saying, all right, it's going on Saturday, it's going on Saturday. But plot twist, Logan Paul did not do the weigh-in at this time. So already you have Dylan promoting a fight between him and Jake Paul. Jake Paul has not said anything about fighting him. All propaganda right now on here. Logan Paul did clap back and says, look, here's my weigh-in. I did it. It's official. But it was after the 11 a.m. cutoff. So who knows if they're going to fight tomorrow night. I don't care what Paul brother is on there. My money's on the Pauls. I think they're going to take it down. Hopefully it is Logan Paul and Dylan Dennis. I know that they have been promoting it. I would love to see this fight. All right, well, that's your Pit Spits for the week. Stay tuned. There is more on the Marissa Pitts Show.
All right, what else? I'm just like rolling. I'm just like recording, rolling.
Welcome to Mouthful with Marissa Pitts. Please take a moment to love, like, and subscribe right now. Today's guest on Mouthful is writer, director, and producer of Babyfoot, Tim Venable. And Babyfoot is fresh off of its Broadway production premiere. Is having its West Coast premiere tomorrow night, October 14th at the Rogue Machine Theater in Los Angeles. And is starring Hope Lauren as Alexis, Daniel Dorr, and Paul DeBoy. All right, let's go ahead and bring you in, Tim. Hi, can you hear me?
Hey, Marissa.
Hi, thank you. I can hear you. Last week I had some audio issues, so glad we can hear each other now. Perfect. How are you doing?
I'm great. Thank you so much for having me. I have to make a correction. Although
yeah.
I would have loved to have had a Broadway production of the play.
Off Broadway.
Off Broadway, I would say.
Off Broadway. Okay, one more off.
Yeah. But here we are on the West Coast at Rogue Machine Theater on Melrose Avenue, and super excited. Just had our first preview last night, which went beautifully, and super grateful to be back home. Los Angeles is home, and Rogue Machine Theater is my artistic home, and it's I'm beyond grateful and proud. It's an amazing cast. Yeah, like you said, Hope Lauren is playing Alexis, Daniel Dorr is playing Blackie, and Paul DeBoy is Fred.
Yes. Yeah, it's a 3-cast play. And I was looking over at your reviews that you had from New York. And one of them that really stuck out to me was from Theater Scene. And they wrote, Babyfoot effectively deals with psychologically and emotionally heavy topics in a thought-provoking way without being overly dark. It has moments of humor within the series drama, but ultimately provides a sense of hope and fulfillment. So what is the premise of Babyfoot?
Well, that's great. Well, I don't know if have I read that review? I'm not sure.
I don't know. It's out there. And I mean, It went deep. This guy loved you. They loved the play. I'll send you the review. It's
please,
really good. I will send it to you.
I thought I saw what we got reviewed. Anyway, so Alexis is leaving drug rehab after 90 days of treatment the following morning, and Blackie is there on his first night. And so they meet and they spend the night in the rehab. It takes place in the recreation room of a drug rehab outside of Portland, Oregon. And the third character, Fred, is a handyman janitor who's been working there for decades and got clean there 30 years ago. And without giving too much away, the way I've described it in the past has been sort of Before Sunrise meets Girl Interrupted. So kind of a love story set, an unconventional love story set in a drug rehab.
Okay, nice. Ooh,
Yeah.
I'm so excited to this. I will be seeing this Sunday. Very, very, very excited. Anytime I met you, years ago down at Southern Shakespeare and Company in Lenox,
Yeah.
Massachusetts. And even just seeing your work as an actor, as a human, and now seeing you out here and writing and directing, it is so exciting. But for this story, like, what made you want to tell this story specifically?
Well, I've been writing for a long time, and over the pandemic, a lot of the acting stuff went away, and that was when the doors really started to open for me as a writer, in unexpected ways. I didn't, it wasn't something I necessarily set out to do. I mean, I'd written a couple screenplays, some short plays, but it was really when uh, during the shutdown that it was like I didn't know where my life was as an actor, and I was kind of uh, going back and forth with that, and then had some ideas. And as it progressed, I'm coming up in I've been sober for 19 years from drugs and alcohol myself.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah. So
Yeah.
March will be 20, God willing, and
Okay.
but it wasn't like I set out to tell a recovery story necessarily. It really was the premise, like I said, about like Richard Linklater has been a big influence on me as a young artist, particularly the Before Sunrise films and Dazed and Confused. And what I really love about what those films do is the sort of the non-drama of things that happen over time. Before Sunrise takes place over one night. Days of Confused starts in the afternoon and ends up in the next morning. And I really love that kind of like that sense of contained time and what can happen with that. And I had this thought uh, of a young woman who's leaving rehab after 90 days. Like I said, I've been sober for a long time. I haven't experienced rehab myself, but I've been very, very close with people in my life in recovery and sobriety who have been through rehab. And so, I just had this kind of what felt like a cool idea, like, a young woman is leaving rehab after 90 days, and a guy is there on his first night,
Mm-hmm.
and they sort of have a before sunrise kind of story. Um, and kind of went from there. And as it progressed over the last year and a half, working with Daniel and Hope on the play, we did a reading in LA last year, and then we went to New York, and I produced and directed it there with Paul as Fred. And it really started to develop more and more into this kind of love story, but also a story about like what addiction is and what the
Mm-hmm.
possibility of hope can be, without it being a sort of like, and I think that was a really beautiful review, and I've gotten a response from a lot of people that it's not some kind of like, uh, um, how you know what I mean, like a story about like a
Just
pro
the dark side,
yeah,
just
the
the
dark
addiction.
side,
Yeah.
or like you know the stories that we've seen, just the kind of sentimental stories that we've seen 100 times about like,
Mm-hmm.
you know
Love conquers all.
love conquers all,
So
salvation,
you're
you can do
fine
this,
now. Look
this
we
is the
healed.
way. Yeah, exactly. Like, this is the way. It's like, no, my
Yeah.
experience has been very nuanced and complex in my own recovery, and I find that in the characters and their performances that there's no real one answer or sort of things. It's kind of this dual sort
Yeah.
of experience between a man and a woman, ultimately, that it's not easy and that there's a lot of work to do, and that you're not, you know um, you have to do the work. And
Yeah.
but it's also very fun and very sexy. And last night's audience was a real testament to that, where it felt like it
Uh-huh.
was a lot of laughs in spite of
Good.
the potential of the darkness of it. But it's just
Yeah.
very human and complex. But that there's ultimately, what I'm trying to say is that if this is something that anyone is struggling with, whether it's
Mm-hmm.
drugs or alcohol or anything else, is that there's hope, and there's people who want to help, and that it's
Yeah.
my personal, it's my purpose to extend the hand of recovery to anyone who is trying to get clean.
And talking about recovery, last week I had my father, Rex Pixon, who is 22 years sober, NA speaker, motivational, and sponsor also. And I asked him this question: what do you lean on when things are rough? And
Wow.
that thought, that idea of just going back and using, right? What programs or what tools do you use to keep sober?
Yeah. That's a really beautiful question. There's a tradition in 12-step recovery of anonymity, which I really honor and respect. My personal experience. This is only coming from my personal experience. Um, can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah, no, I can hear
Okay,
you
great.
perfectly.
Okay, great. My video is a little weird, so I just want to make sure.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but I can hear you perfect.
The the My personal experiences in where I walked into the rooms of Alcoholics Anonymous and have been sober in recovery, in 12-step recovery for 19 years through
Oh, now you
many.
froze. No, there it is. Are you coming back? I turned sideways. Tim, I think you froze. Here, turn it back around. There we go. All right, and you're sideways. Can you turn your phone, like lock it and turn it? Gotta love the technology issues. Yeah. Can you hear? I can't hear you. Can you hear me? No. Do you want to jump out and jump back in? Or just in? Such a great spot. Yeah, I'm gonna bring you. Oh, there you go. Hold on. Okay, he's gonna go ahead and jump out and jump back in while we're waiting for him to come to. Just let you know right now where you can. Oh, here he goes. Let's go. Let's bring you in. All right, and hang tight with us, everybody, while we get this taken care of. I think he has bad reception on his end. But you can find right now the Rogue. This play is at the Rogue Machine Theater in Los Angeles, Melrose. It's running from October 14th to November 20th. You can go over to Rogue Machine and get tickets. All right, can we get you in? At least I can hear you possibly. There we go, bring you in. All right, Tim, there you are. Can you
Oh,
hear?
there we go.
Yay!
Oh my God, I'm
Awesome.
so
That's okay. We're
sorry.
on the perfect spot too. I was like, it always happens that way, right when we're on the edge of our seats. We're like, technology.
No.
So go back. You got into your recovery 19 years ago. You're talking about the steps in 12 steps about anonymity and what that means for
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, so in my personal experience, I've over time I've really honored that tradition. It's a tradition in the program, but at the same time, I've personally wanted to be more honest and open about what helped me get sober, and that the 12 steps are a huge part of that. And then in my own practice, a lot of which is part of the program too, the 11-step prayer meditation. Meditation is a huge, huge part of my life. Service and recovery and talk, like just being honest, really. And I speak to this. I work with a lot of men too, and particularly honesty and transparency and being articulate, trying to be articulate about feelings is tends to be pretty hard with a lot of men and how they've grown up and the kind of experience that they've had with their families and fathers and stuff. And so over the years, particularly I think since the last like 5 or 6 years, I've just been pretty open and honest about. I've been sober for 19 years. This is my experience. This is what I've gone through when I go through, and I way that I can open anyway. So yeah, I think that's it.
Okay. Oh, at least I got everything to your tail end. Perfect. Are you back in? Oh, it cut off again. All right, click out, click back in. Click out, click back in. There we go. I think you're getting you. All right. Well, he'll be back in here. As we've all heard from the last show beforehand, and with recovery, I think one of the things that's really great that I continue to get with guests and people in my life who are in recovery, who do, as they come back in, who find a purpose in life, especially being sober and coming forward that way. It makes me really happy to have that circle of friends around me and family that do embrace sobriety and what that means for the 12 steps. All right, are we back in here? Oh, he's going to come off and back in. Oh, gotta love internet connections. As I said, I'm going to go Sunday. I'll be checking out his play. I believe the Sunday show might be sold out. I know Saturday's sold out, but definitely go on to the roguemachinetheater.com. You can pick up the tickets there. They're reasonably priced. This is definitely a play if you're into looking at stuff and experiencing Los Angeles and the play. This is the place to see it at. All right, I think we're getting him in. Okay, I think we got you in right now. Are you there? Yes. Okay, well, I can't hear you now. I don't know. We have a few more minutes. Hopefully, we can get him back in. And when we put this show back up, this is live. It is raw. It is edgy. This is what we do. Luckily, though, when I put this back together in my splicey room, I'll be able to splice in some of him and keep him back in for the whole show on here. It is huge being able to not only talk about your recovery, but as you talked about, like live those steps. It's really great. The reviews on this play are fabulous. And we're going to try a few more seconds, see if we can get him in. And if not, we can just move on. But I think we're going to try one more time. Here we are. And adding him back in. Okay. Let me try you. All right. Can I hear you? I'm
sorry.
It's okay. Oh, I can hear you. Can I hear you? Talk. Oh, I can hear you. No? Okay. Well, thank you. Oh, I can hear you. Tim. I know you can hear me. All right. Thank you, Tim. I appreciate you so much coming in. We will turn around. I'll have all the information out here on the road. Get that going. So thank you all very much, Tim. I really appreciate you coming in on the show. Sorry about the technical difficulties. This happens. I love to bring you back in the future. Definitely talk about the experience, how it was, and everything. So thank you so much. Please, if you like what you're listening to, even when it's raw, edgy, and we don't know what's happening, love, like, and subscribe. More of this will happen. Come forward is one of the problems with having internet and technology when they're not syncing in, but we will continue to make this happen. But please stay tuned. There is more left on the Marissa Pitts Show.
Are you brave enough to know your future?
Well, welcome to Mystic Marissa, where you get a glimpse of next week's astrological future. It is Friday the 13th, which is probably why Tim and I's has gone downhill, our interview on here. So you can never expect anything to go correct, nice, correct, or right on Friday the 13th. But we will definitely have Tim back on, talk about it, hopefully just jump him on quickly throughout the run halfway and get him back on the show to talk about it. But yes, so Friday the 13th, already know, starting off with a bang. Now, tomorrow we do have a solar eclipse. It is at 2 p.m. Eastern time. All right, so definitely step out depending on where you are on the path. You might only see a partial eclipse. Los Angeles, we're only in a partial. I do know that up in Oregon, they're seeing the full. Step out, make sure you have those little funky glasses. Do not look at the sun. All right, but have that. Eclipses, as I talked about last week, are all about change, even if you don't want the change, right? So a lot of things that are disruptive. There are endings, but with any ending, like any book, there is a new chapter. So please, as you ride out this next couple weeks, things are going to fall apart. Unexpected news are going to happen. Hopefully it'll be tempered with some good news, but please plan on having a lot of change. And this change will hopefully provide a better future. And if it's not a better future right away, it will turn better. It's what we take out of the situation, what we make with it. But even though this week it is going to be turmoil, we do have two different planet motions that are going to help us out. All right, because on the 20th, Mercury is going to meet the sun and it's going to bring some clarity. So amongst everything falling down upon you and crumbling, and as you're crying and ready just to give up, there will be this moment of clarity on the 20th. And it's going to say, right, this is happening for a reason. Whether through your own actions or things around you that you have no control over, it is happening, and you will be able to have some clarity of where to go. Okay, not so much about the situation, but what to do. The very next day, the sun squares off with Pluto. This brings energy, motivation, but it also stirs up all the fears at once. So if you suffer from anxiety, the 21st is not going to be the best day, but just know it's going to give the energy to work through that. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Have that moment. Go try to see something. Tim Venable's Play Baby Foot. It'll help get your mind off of what's happening in your life. But definitely get out, surround yourself with as many loved ones as possible. You're not going to see the lunar eclipse till the 28th. So between the 14th and the 28th, all right, 14 days, 2 weeks of turmoil, things changing, out of your control. Roll with the punches, kind of like think about with surfing. You just roll with the wave. Wherever that wave's going to take you, ride the wave, and hopefully you can emerge head above the water. So definitely hang in there. Have a great time. All right. Anytime you're thinking about this is a time to purge, you want to rid yourself of excess weight. And just like the phoenix, sometimes everything needs to crash and burn for you to emerge victorious and transformed. Well, thank you for listening to the Marissa Pitt Show. Very, very sorry about technical glitches we had today, Friday the 13th. Not surprised. Next week's guest is Melanie Blanco from Doulos. They are a Christian hardcore band. Yes, you heard it, Christian hardcore band, talking about their newest album, Birth Pains. Already it sounds painful as far as the birth pains. So let's see what they take with that. Excited to bring them on. Once again, please check out Tim Venable's Play Baby Foot, playing at the Rogue Machine Theater. Opening night is tomorrow, runs all the way till November 20th. It is the West Coast premiere. Do not miss this play. Great part. It's only 85 minutes for those of you who do not want to sit through 2-3 hour play. It is not. It's going to be fast. It's furious. There is no intermission, so pee beforehand, right? See the play. Hopefully I can see you Sunday. Come out, catch me there. I'll be there, so come say hi and everything. And then I will check you in next week on the Marissa Pitt Show. We are streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter as of now. So please love, like, and subscribe. Until next time, ciao. Mwah. If you like what you heard today, make sure you like, love, and subscribe. We are on all the socials at Marissa Pitt Show. Till next time. Mwah. Ciao.